want to do short sales. You don't drop tags. You don't work whatever because you don't want to do short sales and you're scared to give the Bartels the business because whatever your thing is.
We understand that.
I understand.
No, you like giving him the business.
I got you. But no, listen. What I'm saying to you with that is that it's not necessarily a distress sale is not necessarily a short sale. If it is a short sale, that's great because you're still helping them solve a problem. And if you use David Davis and whatnot, of course that's going to help them. But there's also going to be people that necessarily might not be short, but they're distressed. Let me ask you something. Right now, if you all of a sudden if you have equity in your home, but today all of us for whatever reason you could make your mortgage payment next month, are you distressed? Is there a little something going on? Are you kind of feeling a little bit tough? Now, what happens if all of a sudden, whatever your circumstances are, you can't make the payment the following month? Now you're 3 months behind. Are you distressed? Do you get the same notice of default that everybody else gets? Do you get the same notice of trustee sale and IRS that everybody else gets? But you got equity in your house. You have everything. So, mindset. What are you telling your mind? What are you saying to yourself? If someone needs help and they're in a distressed situation, maybe they're not short. And if they are short, that's okay because you have a solution to that. See, the problem is that a lot of us won't go out and work that part of the business because of your own myth, your own inner mindset on what a short sale is. That's, I don't want to work short sale. Oh, it's going to take forever. Oh, it's going to be whatever the situation is. I know that some of you were sitting when you were listening to Steve talk, and he was talking about, the commissions, and you worried about getting your commissions, and you worried about whether you're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6%, whatever it is that you're charging. You want to have a little better control of that? Get more short sales. They're paying 6%. Yeah, so, and as the lady said, and 8. So if that's your major concern, would you rather get 6% if it takes a little bit longer time, if that's part of whatever your business model is? And I don't care what your business model is. I don't care if it's 1%, I don't care if it's 6%, it doesn't matter. In 28 years, I've seen people sell them at 1%, I've seen people sell them at 8%. See, it doesn't really matter what other situations are going on. It doesn't really matter what the market situation is. Yes, you need to be aware of it. Yes, you need to know. But what effect does that have? If you woke up tomorrow morning and interest rates were 20%, do you still need to sell houses?
Oh, yeah.
Do people still need somewhere to live?
Yes.
Then you just adapt and you focus on whatever it has to be in the marketplace at that time. When I got into the business, and I seen Joe, I'm sure it's probably similar when he got into business. The first house I bought my interest rate down to 12%. I had a $102,000 townhome with a $75 HOA that I thought was outrageous. But because the interest rate was 12%, and it was an FHA deal, my PITI was $1,500. You got people paying $1,500 now for a $300,000 house. Did I buy that house? Yes, because it was better than renting at the time. I tell people you're going to be one of two things. You're either going to be paying for your own legacy, or you're going to be paying for the legacy of somebody else's. But if you're going to live somewhere, you're going to pay. It doesn't matter who you're paying. You're paying you and your family, or you're paying someone else's. That's the bottom line. So when you're out and you're talking to people, whether it be the monster, whether it be an expired, whether it be a for sale by owner, one of the first things is we can stand up here all day, and with the best of them, man, with the best of them, I've been through some coaches, I've been through some programs. Man, we can sit up here and you can throw me some objections, and I can tell you some stuff and rattle off in my band like it's like, wow. We can sit up here and we can do scripts and dialogue, and is there a place for all that? It is, absolutely. But I will tell you one thing that's really, really changed, and one thing that really, really connects, and I'm hoping you probably feel this from me right now and will connect with you, is people want to listen talk with someone that they feel is authentic. That's why all of a sudden you hear this authenticity buzz. You hear about transparency. People want to feel that they're not being sold. People want to feel, they know that you're going to make a commission. Most people don't necessarily want you to not make any money. As a matter of fact, most people want to work with someone that they feel is successful enough that's also feeding their family. What they don't want is they don't want to feel taken advantage of. They don't want to feel like they're a number. I mean, you go to the doctor, you know the doctor got a whole bunch of other patients. You know the doctor's seeing a whole bunch of other people. But what you want is you want the doctor to make you feel like at that particular moment, whatever's going on with you is the most important thing to that doctor, and the doctor's working on you. Well, that's the same thing that your customers feel. They know you have other customers. I hear people all the time say, I don't want to tell them I got a day off. Why not? They got a day off. I don't want to tell them I don't work open houses. And I'm talking about myself. Well, why not? Somebody asked me, do you work open houses? On a listing presentation. No, I don't, Mr. Seller. Can I tell you why? Sure. Because I work all day, every day, as long as it takes, Monday through Friday, an appointment only on Saturday to get your home sold. I don't need to work Sunday. I mean, the Lord took off Sunday. It looks like I can get a day off, right? I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is that you do. You control your business. And people will respect that. Now, has there ever been anybody that's told me, well, if you don't do an open house on Sundays, we don't want to list with you? You have to make a decision. And there's nothing wrong with whatever your decision is. If you decide that you want to take that seller and you're going to sit open houses and whatever the case may be, there's nothing wrong with that. There's also nothing wrong with saying no and understanding that there will be somebody else that's going to come along that'll fit your business model. See, I learned a long time ago that I'm not going to sell a quadrillion houses every year. I also don't need to sell a quadrillion houses every year. I need to help X amount of families every year based upon what my business plan is for what I'm trying to establish with my legacy. And that's going to be different from each and every individual here. And whatever that answer is to you, that's all that matters. One thing I'll tell you, in this business when we talk about lead generation, in my opinion, you should have different revenue streams. When I say different revenue streams, meaning you really need, in my opinion, to have at least 3 sources. When I say 3 sources, meaning this. You shouldn't necessarily do 100% of nothing. You understand what I'm saying? In other words, I'm saying you don't want to just do 100% monster. You don't want to just do 100% cold calling. You don't want to just do 100% door knocking. You don't want to just do that. You need to have 3 sources of your lead generation for nothing else, for your own psyche and to keep it a little bit exciting. But you want to have it, in my opinion, at least 3. I use the number of 3 because I personally have not found myself able to be successful doing 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3 kind of works pretty well because, again, I don't need a quadrillion deals. Right? Now, if you need a quadrillion deals, then you might have to up the ante a little bit. 3 good sources. And the monster is one of those sources for me. So that being said, how long have I been up here? I've been up here, wow. You guys know that right now, I don't know why we did this today. Today's the Final Four. I need to find out right now if Oklahoma is beaten. Are they losing? Oh, okay. I'm like, woo! And you know, and that spread, that North Carolina spread. I don't know about y'all. I'm a basketball player. Many. 100 years ago and 200 pounds ago. So it's a long time ago. So that's
76-41 Villanova.
It's what?
76-41 Villanova.
Okay, well,
7:21 left to go in the second half.
Okay, so we can
make it short to continue.
We keep talking. That being said, I would like to open it up. Does anybody have any questions? No, good. No. Does anybody have any questions? Sure.
What do you do with social media?
For me, social media is one of my main lead generation sources. When I first started the business, I did cold calling. That was really how I built my business. It was different. You know, it was different. I did in the scenario that Steve described now, that was what I was given to me then. And I've already disclosed to you guys I didn't have any money. So I had enough money for like 2 steps. I didn't have any money. Well, I had a car. I had a Porsche. Porsche looked really good on the outside. It's a 5-speed. And the starter went out. I didn't have any money to put the starter in. So guess what I used to do? And you guys had a stick shift. I used to look like Barney Rubble, and I would back my car in like the open houses or showing property, so that hopefully the client wouldn't see me put my leg out to have to start their car. Because I didn't have any money. I hadn't closed the deal yet, and my wife had told me there wasn't no money for that. That being said, the same tenacity that I have cold calling, where I was given a phone book, I would go from 8 o'clock in the morning, because you could do that back then. I would go from 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock at night. I would do that 5 days a week, and on Saturdays and Sundays back then, I would do somebody else's open houses if they would let me to. Because I had the other money, and I tried door knocking for a while, but I could always find a reason not to door knock. It's too hot, it's too cold. There's dogs in that street. They don't like people over there. They thought I was Jehovah's Witness. They thought I was Christian. They thought whatever the case may be, there was a reason why not to door knock. The phone didn't intimidate me or scare me, so I would call. Now, I took that tenacity into social media. So for me, social media, and I do a lot of videos, a lot of targeting stuff on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Google Plus, and now I've started to get an Instagram. Now I don't sit on there all day and just do it all by myself. There are things that you can use where you can go out massively and all that other sort of stuff. But yes, to me, social media is a huge component. I mean, you know, how many of you guys have ever run ads, Facebook ads yourself? It's paid ads. Did you know that you can actually go into Facebook and you can actually set up from demographics, from how much money people make, from whether or not they own homes or not, from where they live, their lock and move. You can actually target people through social media, pay like $20, $30, and you can hit 5, 10, 15,000 people. How much would that cost you to run an ad to do that? So social media is a strong component for me. Yes, sir.
So describe a typical day.
Typical day for me is I'm normally in the office no later than 8 a.m. It used to be no later than 7. I'm getting older. So I'm in there no later than 8. Generally between 8 and 9, I have my prep for the day. Whatever to-dos I've got, personals, I still write out personal notes. I'm really strong in database building. Building database and staying in touch with people. I don't just put people in the CRM, I have to work the CRM. They go in there, they hear from me. I've set that up. If I have letters that go out that day, I have letters. I have all that stuff done between 8 and 9. By 9 o'clock, I'm on the phone. By 9 o'clock, I'm on the phone. And on the phone for me nowadays is more lead follow-up and more people that are in my database. I have 3,500 people in my database. So I'm touching them beside the normal stuff that people do, but I'm also touching them and speaking with them and doing it. I do that from 9 to 11. After 11 o'clock, my day is open to whatever else has to happen. Because one thing that I learned in real estate for me is that if you can win the morning, when all the other stuff breaks out, that always happens. If you got a few escrows, you got a few buyers, you happen to have a few listings, that breaks out. But see, for me, it breaks out after I'm done with my lead generation, because my lead generation is the most important part of my business. If I don't get anything else done that day, I will get my lead generation done. And then when everything else, when all hell breaks loose, I've gotten that part of the day done. That's my typical day. Now, when I'm doing monsters, what I do right now is when I'll do monsters, I will do them on Mondays and Tuesdays. I do them on Mondays and Tuesdays, and I will go 11, no later than 1 o'clock. And I set up my appointments so that I'll go out on Wednesdays and Thursdays. I don't want to go out on Friday or the weekend. And I don't, this is just me, this is my business plan. I don't put tags out later on in the week, because I found for myself that when I would go out to meet the people on Wednesday or Thursday, even though their appointment was set, that my actual time of being able to speak to people You know, they weren't there, they would open the door. You know, there were more challenges for me. So I just do it those 2 days, and then the following 2 days